Are you ready for your black and gay Harry Potter? Because it might be coming with this new series that's coming out, because they're now committed to inclusive and diverse casting. You'd think they'd know better at this point. You'd think they'd know not to mess with things, not to mess with descriptions of characters that everybody loves, iconic characters. But this is what they do. And I think, honestly, at this point, it might get even worse than this, which we'll read the article and I'll kind of give my thoughts on it. My gosh, what a train wreck, and this is why Hollywood just needs to burn to the ground, my friends. They're just destroying everything they touch. Now, they're already out there canceling J.K. Rowling as hard as they possibly can. It's really weird how they're trying to divide her from her work, like it's not even hers at this point. But, oh gosh, it's such a mess being woke. I wouldn't be able to understand it. But there's a lot going on here in the Harry Potter sort of realm. And this is a fantasy book which basically saved the publishing industry 20 years ago. And now the publishing industry is going absolutely absurd. There's no hits anymore because they're fully converged into this SJW DEI nonsense, just like Hollywood is. And that's why we're fighting back, my friends. So please hit the like and subscribe button here. We talk about everything, science fiction and fantasy. This is your spot, and I appreciate you guys being here. We're diverse and inclusive. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. And I write my own fantasy books. This is my series, The Adventures of Baron von Monocle. I can talk. And it is a 6-book series, lots of action adventure, no weird woke stuff in it. You'll absolutely love it. And it's suitable for all ages. That's what we try to do around here. And we really have a wonderful, wonderful series here that I'd love for you to check out. It's in the description below. Thank you, guys. Grab all 6 books in the series. They're also available on audio. Make it easy for you. And I appreciate you for being there. All right, so a casting call for Max's upcoming Harry Potter series has many fans fearing Hollywood production will race swap or push sexuality changes onto main characters of Harry Potter, Hermione Granger, and Ron Weasley. The casting call posted to Casted Talent's website reveals the production is looking for children between the ages of 9 and 11 on April 2025 who are residents of United Kingdom or Ireland. It then provides instructions for applicants to apply, including a video submission or a short poem or story, as well as a second video providing information about the applicant, including birth date, height, where you live, as well as information regarding family members and pets. However, at the end of the casting call is where many fans' fears are stemming from. It states, "We are committed to inclusive, diverse casting." Oh boy, this is what they're going to try to do. That means race swaps and gender swaps are 100% happening. And I actually think they're going to try to push a transgender thing because I'll get into the J.K. Rowling situation in a bit, but it would not surprise me whatsoever if they do this just to try to get at J.K. Rowling. For every role, please submit qualified performers without regard to ethnicity, sex, disability, race, sexual orientation, gender identity, or any other basis protected by law till otherwise specifically indicated. Pretty interesting on that front. So they put that there, but when they're saying inclusive, diverse casting, they are putting it in regard to ethnicity, sex, disability, race. It's quite the opposite. They are preferring some genders and some, oh gosh, I hate using genders like plural like that, and some races over others. They always do. It's always preferring black people. It's always preferring women and non-binaries. And that's exactly what's happening every single time in every single casting thing. Now, this was exposed by Disney a while back because James O'Keefe with Project Veritas went out and infiltrated Disney, and they did a big expose on it. If you've not watched it, that is one of the most important videos to come out this year, showing that Disney absolutely does do casting calls, much like this, where they say they code word it like this. They say because they can't outright say no white males in the casting call because of the law. But they say, we don't want the usual suspects, is what he said in there. He said, use diverse and inclusive casting, right? And so they do this all across Hollywood. This is nothing new. Putting it onto a children's sort of deal like Harry Potter, though, is really, really sad that they can't leave anything well alone at this point. And they can't. They're committed to this agenda, even as the woke agenda is failing in everything. We saw it with Star Wars, their little black lesbian space witch show. It died. Amazon Prime's Rangs of Power, or I should say, it's dying. It is not working every time they do this, so there's no financial reason for them to do it. They're doing it all because of ideology every single time. And Harry Potter is something that they really, really want to destroy with ideology. To them, it's very important because J.K. Rowling's been out there standing up, calling women women, and saying that men cannot be women. She's called for men to get out of women's sports, men to stop pretending to be women and doing this kind of thing. She says, as a feminist, which is annoying, but again, she's right. At least she's staying with feminism in this, that it hurts women's rights and hurts everything about the women's causes when you allow men to go in and dominate women's causes while they're pretending to be women. And she's gotten a lot of flack on that. Of course, they attack her on the left more than I've ever seen, which is pretty funny because back in the day, they used to uphold Harry Potter as like the greatest thing ever. That's all they wanted. It was the one thing, the one book they ever read. And now they're just livid about it, all because J.K. Rowling will not submit to that agenda. And that's why I think this casting call probably will push something on that level. I think that the people in Hollywood want to stick it to J.K. Rowling. I think that they want to put a transgender in a role like Dumbledore or whatnot in order to just try to be absolutely crazy about this stuff. I wouldn't be surprised whatsoever. Now, J.K. Rowling is not immune to virtue signaling. She attempted to do this too, called Dumbledore gay after the fact in order to get golf claps from them. You know, I wonder what she'd think about that now if she had to retract everything now that she's been targeted by the woke mob because they were pressuring so hard wanting a gay character in Harry Potter for so long. And, of course, none of that exists in the books. As back then, you wouldn't put that kind of thing in a children's book. They're doing it all over publishing today, but you wouldn't do it back then. And so she did her virtue signaling. It didn't work because you're never virtuous enough for the Inquisition. You're never virtuous enough for the next thing. And they're going to try to turn Harry Potter into a train wreck with this thing 100% over this. Mark my words. So in a blog post on Wizarding World website covering the casting call, it tries to blunt fears, revealing the show will, quote, serve as a faithful adaptation of J.K. Rowling's Harry Potter books. However, this does not appear to be working. Pop culture analyst Gary Buechler? Gosh, I'm having problems talking, guys. What's going on today? We'll fix it in edit, don't worry. Predicted that the character of Hermione will be diversified given the character's race was replaced in Harry Potter and the Cursed Child stage play. And that's the spot to be at. Since she's like really the number 2 there, that's what they like to do. I think it'd be very difficult for them to try to do it with Harry Potter proper. I don't think they're ready for that quite yet. But for the secondary character, the Hermione type of character, absolutely makes sense. Nerdrotic is 100% right. But you've got Ron, who's remember, they like to ginger side too. That's the other thing. Hollywood loves to replace the gingers. You've even got Mary Jane replaced with Zendaya now in the Spider-Man movies. It doesn't make any sense. So you might go that direction if you actually want to push that. Harry's faithful black friend would be much better than the faithful redhead friend at this point. So I'm actually going to lean towards that as my prediction is where it will go. And since they already did it in the play, he says, you're right, which would also be on the nose because of Hermione's character. She'll be called a mudblood. Wow. So she has defended it, J.K. Rowling. I guess she hasn't learned her lesson yet. She says, my experience of social media, I thought the idiots were going to idiots, but what can you say? That's the way the world is. Noma was chosen because she was the best actress for the job. When John told me he'd cast her, I said, oh, that's fabulous, because I'd seen her in a workshop, and she was fabulous. You never get enough for the Inquisition here. So when will the show arrive? They said, we've not been shy about our excitement of Harry Potter, the last film made more than a dozen years ago. I was in London a few weeks ago with Casey and Channing. We spent some real time with JK and her team. Both sides are thrilled to be reigniting this franchise. Our conversations were great. We couldn't be more excited about what's ahead. We can't wait to share a decade of new stories with fans in the world of Max. We're aiming for a debut. Now, I don't even understand why you need to remake something like, and if you're, quote, doing a faithful adaptation, the movies were pretty good as far as following the books before. Like, what's needed at this point to be redone? It's not like fantasy series need new technology or anything like that or modernizing. It stands pretty well for its own period, and those films are fine, honestly. But this is what they do. They remake things, and they're not adding anything to the world. There's nothing to add. I mean, unless they're doing like a spin-off with different wizards or something like that. The story pretty much concludes. But hey, they're out of ideas in Hollywood, and the only thing they can do is make diverse remakes at this juncture. That's what they go for. That's what we can expect. All right, leave a comment down below with what you think about this. Hit the like and subscribe button. Please check out For Steam and Country and the entire series of The Adventures of Baron von Monocle. It's in the description below. Grab it on Amazon today. We'll be back soon.